start today's practice like the usual, just with a seated meditation. Take all of this moment in by focusing on your breath. By allowing the breath to bring you into presence. Bring your awareness to the center of your chest, your heart chakra, Anahata chakra. Feel if you have any tension there, or if the energy can move freely from that center into your whole body, and from there even beyond your body into the world. Maybe you can even feel your heartbeat. And then, without using any force, try to just gently push your heart forward like it would be attached to a string. And with your exhale, let your body just pull you back into your center line. With your inhale, pull your heart to the back, like in between your shoulders. And with your exhale, release. Let the body do the rest. Gonna do that to the right and left side as well. As you inhale, shift your heart and chest gently to the right side. Exhale, let it just come back. Other side, inhale to the left. It's tiny movements. And exhale back. Feel your heart as the center of your being. And bring your hands together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra. Invite your personal intention into your heart space. And if nothing comes to mind, just let it be love. Let's begin practice by chanting an Om together. Inhale. Lower your chin to your chest. And slowly open your eyes. Take the arms over the side, lengthen your spine, reach up. And exhale, twist over the right. Look over your right shoulder, just elongate your spine. Inhale, both arms lift, lengthen up tall. Exhale, twist over to the other side. Inhale, come back up. Both arms lift, and then let's make some big circles with our arms. Try to keep the spine in one line. Make the circle as big as you can. And then reverse direction from the back to the front. And then bring the arms in one line with your shoulders, palms facing down, and we rotate the palms facing up and down as much as the rotation in the shoulder allows you to do. Keep breathing here as well. Then palms facing up, flex the hands back to the back of the room and gently pull the shoulder blades together. You should feel like a navel stretch in the front. Try not to puff your chest forward, but keep the length in your spine. Breathe in one more time. And exhale, release. Shake it out. Wiggle your shoulders from side to side. And then roll over in onto all fours. Gonna move towards our hips. Make some circles for your hips. So the shoulders are aligned on top of the wrists and you just want to bring the circles in the hips. And reverse direction here as well. And find a neutral spine. Come onto your toes and lift your knees up. Exhale, push your head towards the knees, round your spine, sitting bones to the heels. Inhale, shift forward on top of your shoulders. 2 more. Exhale, shift back, make yourself into a tiny ball. Inhale forward and exhale back. Inhale forward, floating tabletop, step back into plank. Lower the knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slide into a cobra and stay in your cobra for 2 deep breaths. Imagine you pull your hands towards your body to create more space in your torso and your thoracic spine. And exhale, shift yourself back into your downward facing dog. Take a moment to arrive here. And just walking your dog out. Maybe bouncing, the shoulders a little bit up and down. Imagine that string in between your chest moving up and down. Should feel really good in our first down dog. Make sure the head and neck is just relaxed, can hang down free. And then walk your feet to the front of the mat. Lift your chest halfway up, Adho Uttanasana. And exhale, bow forward, full Uttanasana. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms overhead, Tadvastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, arms lift, cactus your arms, open your heart. Inhale, both arms lift, Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step back into plank. One more time, knees, chest and chin, Ashtanga Namaskara. Inhale, slide forward into Cobra. Stay here for 3 deep breaths this time. Try not to use your hands so much to push yourself higher. Rather lift from the back muscles. Pull the chest forward. And exhale, release. Shift yourself back to your heels. And downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. How can you find grounding in this pose? How can you release with every exhale? Where do you feel tension in your body? How can you create space by just breathing into it? Next inhale brings you forward to the top of the mat. Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bow forward, full Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up to standing Uttanasana. Exhale, open your arms, open your heart. Inhale, Uttanasana. Exhale, bow forward, full Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Stay in your upward facing dog or cobra for 2 deep breaths. Imagine your heart pulling forward, shoulders pulling back and down. And then exhale, back to downward facing dog. 1 deep breath here. Maybe you need an exhale out of the mouth. Inhale, lift your right leg up into straight. Exhale, pull it forward in between your hands into a high lunge. Arms lift high. Find the foundation in your feet. Exhale, cactus your arms, open your chest. Inhale, both arms up. Straighten your right leg. Interlace the elbows behind the back and lean forward halfway for a gentle pyramid pose. If you need to keep the legs bent, because it's still early in your practice, feel free to do so. Keep the back nice and long, flat spine. Inhale, rebend, let go of the arms, find one more high lunge. And exhale, come back to plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause for 1 deep breath here. Use this time to check in with the pose. Inhale, lift your left leg up, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, high lunge on the left side. Arms up alongside of your ears, pull the lower belly in. And then cactus your arms, elbows pull down, chest pulls towards the sky. Inhale, both arms lift back. Straighten your left leg. Grab the forearms or elbows behind the back. Lean forward with a nice flat spine. Pyramid variation here. See that your neck is an elongation of your whole torso from the sacrum to the head. Let go of the grip. Find one more breath in your high lunge. And exhale, Vinyasa, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. 1 deep breath here. And exhale it out. Inhale, step or jump forward, front of your mat, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward, full Uttanasana. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, sit back into your chair this time. Both knees together if you can, otherwise hip width apart. Swing your arms to the back, interlace either the hands or just grab the forearms here as well to open your chest a little more. Maybe you can bring the hands away from the lower back. Exhale, fold forward, straighten your legs, forward folds. Inhale, let go of the hands, come back into your chair, Utkatasana for 1 more breath. And exhale, give yourself a hug. Hug the front of the shins, pull your nose to the knee. And then straighten your legs into a forward fold. Let your upper body be loose. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, step or jump back through your vinyasa. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. 1 deep breath here to neutralize. to take the pause before we move on with the flow. Inhale, lift your right leg up, three-legged down dog. Exhale, step it forward, high lunge. Arms alongside of your ears, pull the lower belly in, exhale, open the front, cactus your arms. Inhale, both arms lift, straighten your right leg. Lean forward, arms alongside of the ears this time. Hold for just a breath. And then exhale, let it come down, pyramid pose. Inhale, rebend, come back into your high lunge. And then interlace the hands behind the back. We're going to go into humble warrior. Right shoulder inside of the right knee. Back foot parallel with the short side of the mat. Inhale, lift back up into your high lunge. Let go of the arms. And windle it down to the mat. All the way to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath to neutralize here. We change to the other side, left leg lifts. Exhale, step forward, high lunge. Arms alongside of the ears. Exhale, back bend, open your heart. Inhale, both arms lift, straighten your left leg. Lean forward halfway. Your core supports you here. One more breath. And then exhale, allow yourself to come forward, bowing over the left leg. Inhale, rebend, back to high lunge. Interlace the hands behind the back, open the chest. And then left shoulder inside of the left leg. Lift the arms as high as you can from your back. One more breath here. Exhale, release, both arms up into high lunge. Exhale, step it back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, find your way back to downward facing dog. One more deep breath here. And then bend both of your knees so you can push your chest a little closer to the mat. Maybe even your head is coming closer to the mat. To really bring the stretch instead of the back of the legs into your chest. Make sure your head and neck stays relaxed. And then release. Make your way back to the front of the mat. Adho Uttanasana, halfway lift. And exhale, bow forward, full Uttanasana. Inhale, all the way up to standing Uttanasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Bend your knees, come back into your chair, Utkatasana. Elbows to the side. Step a little bit forward, pull the elbows down and back like cactus. Your arms in your Utkatasana. Inhale, arms lift all the way back up to Utkatasana. Interlace your hands behind the back. Pull your chest forward and then bow forward. Fold with interlaced hands behind the back. Exhale, release. One more breath in Utkatasana chair. And exhale all the way down to your Vinyasa Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. One more deep breath here. Lift your right leg up, three-legged down dog. Exhale, high lunge on the right side. Arms lift. You can do the same variation that we did before by just pulling the elbows down. If you want more, you can interlace the hands here already and go into a more into a deeper variation. Exhale, release, right leg straight. Grab the forearms behind your back halfway. Right leg bend, shift your weight into warrior 3 for one breath. See that your whole spine is flat and your hip is not pulling up. Exhale, release. Bring your right arm underneath the right and try to bring the right hand outside. So you should touch your right knee on your right shoulder. You can see how much range of motion you have. Go a little bit forward and backward. And we're going to go into a bind from here. So bring the right arm back and try to grab the left hand with the right, but stay in that high lunge position. Usually we do it in warrior 2, which is a little easier. If you need to adjust that, that's fine, but this time I really want to pull my chest forward and try to grab the bind like this for one more breath. Exhale, release, bring the hands down, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, back to downward facing dog. One breath to neutralize here. Other side, left leg lifts, three-legged down dog. Exhale, step it forward, arms up. Same variation than before, either pulling the elbows down or interlacing the hands behind the back and going a little bit deeper into your lunge back bend variation. Exhale, release, grab the forearms behind the back, straighten your left leg, pyramid variation. Lean forward, find that flat spine, pull the lower belly into the spine to flatten out the lumbar spine. Rebend your left leg so much that you can shift your weight into warrior 3, lifting the right leg up. Exhale, release, step back into your high lunge. Find the length. Exhale, both hands down, left arm underneath the left leg, but bring it in one line with your left foot. See how much range of motion you have, how close can you get the kneecap over the left shoulder. Maybe that's enough and you can stay here, otherwise you can bring the left hand underneath and the right for a bind in the lunge position. See how my chest is still pulling forward. We just use this pose for preparation in the next round. Exhale, release, plant the hands down, vinyasa, all the way back to downward facing dog. And this time in your downward facing dog, if you can, come onto the fingertips to create a little bit more length in the shoulders. Pull the lower belly into the spine. Try to really push your heels down. Exhale, release. Walk your dog out for just a moment here. And make your way back to the front of the mat, halfway lift out of Uttanasana. Exhale, bow forward, full Uttanasana. Inhale, come all the way up to standing with Vastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Come back to your intention, come back to your breath. Feel your heart and align your practice with that. Inhale, Utkatasana, bend your legs, arms up. Take your hands behind, interlace them if you can, pull the chest forward. Find the length. Sit a little bit deeper if you can. Exhale, forward fold with the hands interlaced, belly button into the spine. Inhale, Utkatasana, release the hands alongside of your ears. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Right leg lifts into the sky. Exhale, high lunge, arms up. Interlace the hands behind the back. You can stay upright or lean back. Exhale, humble warrior, right shoulder inside of the right leg. Let the head be nice and loose. Inhale, arms lift, high lunge. Straighten your right leg, find your pyramid pose. You can choose if you want to keep pulling the chest forward or if you just want to have a more relaxed version and just relaxing over your right leg. See what you need this morning, what this practice is telling you right now. Exhale, rebend the right leg and bring the right arm underneath again. And then for this round, you want to bend both of your elbows so you can actually shift so much weight onto both arms that you can lift the right leg. And then you can see, maybe you can even lift the left leg. It's much more stable than the flying pigeon variation that we do sometimes. It's a little funky, so just give it a try and then walk your right foot outside of your right hand and enjoy lizard stretch. Maybe you want to come down onto the forearms or stay upright. You want to ground the whole foot on the mats. Inhale, come back onto your hands. Shift the right leg back into plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Wiggle it out. And we change to the other side, left leg lifts, three-legged down dog. Exhale, step it through, high lunge. Find the length first. Interlace the hands behind the back. Upright position for your body, or maybe lean back. Inhale, come through center, exhale, humble warrior on the left side, left shoulder inside of the left knee. Inhale, come back up, high lunge, lengthen your torso, straighten your left leg, reach all the way forward to find your variation of pyramid pose. Either nice flat spine or just letting everything be loose and just bring the focus into the legs. What do you need right now? Sometimes it also feels good to switch between both of them. Inhale, rebend the left leg. Bring the left arm underneath. Make sure both hands are underneath your shoulders in one line with your foot. The more you get your knee towards the shoulder, the easier it is to pick up the left foot. You have your arms bent like in Chaturanga. You can maybe lift the right foot, maybe even bend the back leg. Just give it a try to do this funky variation. And then you can come into your lizard whenever you're ready. For that, move the left foot outside a little bit more so both hands can be inside of the left foot or lower onto your forearms. Do you feel any difference between the other side? Allow the chest to drop to increase the hip stretch here. Slowly come back onto your hands. Step back into plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, shift back into plank and lower onto your belly. For Shalabhasana, interlace the hands behind the back. Push the tops of the feet into the mat. Lift your heart and chest. Pull the shoulder blades back. Maybe that's enough. Maybe you can lift the torso. You can lift the hands from the lower back. You stay here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Hands underneath the shoulders. Push yourself back into a child's pose with the knees wide. And then in your child's pose, do some wiggles from right to left. And find that middle, that center, where it's evenly balanced. And then that's the moment you just sink in. Where the hips are allowed to release, the forehead to the mat. We go a little bit more into our hips. So lift your heart and chest up and just push yourself forward. Knees stay wide. You can pick up the feet and pull the chest forward and let the front, the hips just come down. Exhale, shift back to your heels. 2 more. Inhale, pull your heart and chest, roll over your knees. Feet can touch, let the psoas release. And exhale, shift back. One last time. Inhale, lift forward, roll over your knees, let the hips sink. And exhale, arrive in your child's pose for 2 more breaths. Does it feel any different in your hips? And then push yourself back into your downward facing dog. Wiggle your head out from side to side. And then bring both knees down. Come sitting on your knees. Make sure you bring the calves out so you can sit in between your heels. If you feel like that's too much for the knees, you're welcome to use a block or a pillow or a book to sit here. Then bring the right arm above the head. Take with your left hand the elbow. Make sure to not let the ribs flare out, but more have a nice straight spine, and pull the right hand in between your shoulder blades. You can stay here, and that's completely fine. I'm going to show you from the front. If you want a side bend, you can slightly lean over to one side. Inhale, come back, right hand to the left elbow. Find the length first. Stay here or lean over to one side without shifting the hips. It's not a big side bend. And exhale, release. Gonna go into half hero. So the right heel stays outside. And I like to bring my foot in one line with my knee and just sit here. Maybe that's enough already on the thigh or on the knee, otherwise you can come onto your elbows, but try to avoid the knee coming up. You really want to push it down. Also, you don't want to go to one side, so I really like to stabilize with my foot, so I stay in that midline here. Two deep breaths for your quads. And then come back up. We change to the other side. Right leg forward. Maybe you need to straighten it for a moment. And then pull the left heel outside of your glute. Make sure the knee is in one line with your hip. If you stay upright, just stay upright if that's already enough. If you want to go deeper, come onto your elbows. Allow the left knee to stay down on the mat. Breathe into the tension that you might feel. And release. For a full hero pose, you bring the knees together as well. Move the calves out. You can just sit in between your heels. You can lean back with your hands. You can come down onto your forearms. If you have the flexibility, of course, you can come all the way down, laying on your mat. One more deep breath here. Slow as you came into the pose, make sure you come back up. Come onto all fours. And just straighten one leg at a time. Do some movements for your knees. And we actually stay on the knees, but the knees are hip width apart now. You can measure the distance with 2 fists. I'm going to go into a camel variation, so make sure you push the hips forward, but we want to bring the arms up and go into that cactus shape with our arms, pushing the heart and chest forward, pushing the hips forward, maybe looking up towards the sky if that's possible. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, pull the elbows down, cactus your arms, heart lifts. Inhale, arms up, lower belly engaged. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, both arms lift. Exhale, just sit down onto your heels, close your eyes. Observe what you feel by opening the front side of the body, the heart area here. I'm going to do one more round of camel pose. You can choose any variation that feels good in your body, maybe just having the hands on the lower back, doing the same version that we did. Or what I like to do is interlacing my hand behind, and leaning back as far as my body feels stable. When you feel the hips coming back, there's a lot of weight, so imagine you want to push the hips forward into somebody's hands or into the wall. You stay for 2 more breaths. Open the front of the throat, the heart. Exhale slowly, come back up. Find your child's pose, slowly to release the back. Find stillness, or again some wiggles from side to side. Inhale, come back up. And then find the left knee behind the right. And sit back into Gomukhasana. as much as you can. You can also place a block underneath here. Make sure the knees are aligned. I like to hold onto my feet to feel some grounding here. Release the outer hips. If the position feels good, you can always interlace the elbows behind the back and maybe drop the forehead to the knees. Sitting upright is also completely fine. Inhale, release. We switch to the other side. So whichever knee you had in front, align them in your tabletop position. I'm going to place my right knee behind the left. Gently sit back. See how much you can ground your sitting bones. Maybe find a moment to stay upright. If you're interlaced the forearms and dropped your head forward, do the same thing on this side. Slowly release this pose and unwind your legs. Let's do a round of cat-cow here. With your inhale, drop your belly, pull the shoulder blades back, just move forward. Exhale, round and curl, push the floor away. 2 more. Inhale, lift the heart and chest, maybe the gaze. And exhale, round. One more time. And exhale. Shift yourself back into your downward facing dog. Lift the right leg into the sky, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, pigeon on the right side. Bring the right knee outside of your right wrist. Find an upright sitting position first to really ground the left leg into the mat. And then walk forward as much as you feel comfortable in your sleeping pigeon variation. Maybe forehead all the way down to the mat. Allow your body to soften into this pose. Trust the inner wisdom that you have to guide you here. Make space to just listen. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Let all the tiny muscles release and stabilize the outer hips and the glutes, continuing their way to the lower back. Come back, sitting up. Free your right leg. Maybe make some circles here. Wiggle it out, shake it out. And another side. Left foot lifts, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, pigeon on the left side. Find a moment to arrive. Also here, maybe it feels good to wiggle a little bit from side to side. And find that center line for yourself from inside out. Maybe onto the forearms, maybe all the way down. And also here, if you need to do some micro adjustments or move your hip from side to side or engaging your glutes and releasing them. I'm a big fan of doing movements in the pose to find the place where we can sink into. And that place might differ every time We are in a pose as our bodies are continuously changing, as well as our environment, the energetic field we move. One more deep breath here. Then come back onto your hands. Free your left leg. Make the movements that you need. Find your downward facing dog and walk your feet to the front of the mat from here. Halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees. Come all the way back, sitting on your glutes, both legs forward. Bring both arms up, find length. Exhale, forward fold, Paschimottanasana. And you can hold onto your shins or your feet, doesn't matter, but I want you to play with cat-cow movements here as well. So with your inhale, lift your chest forward, and exhale, round. See how that stretch changes depending on the position of your back. You can always do that with bent knees as well. And then find that space that you want to work into today. And it doesn't matter if you want to have a more rounded back and just sink into the pose without trying to pull, or if you rather have a more active variation where your spine is really flat and you pull the belly in to create that length. Every pose has its own benefit. And I don't feel your body, so you need to adjust this practice to your needs. And there's nothing wrong as long as it feels good in your own body. Inhale, lift yourself back up into a sitting position. Cross your right leg, your right foot over your left leg. Left arm outside of the right knee, right arm behind. Use the length of the arm to twist gently. We do a lot of back bending, so be gentle here. Exhale, release. Right hand to your extended leg. Twist over to the other side. Look over the left shoulder for a counter twist. Exhale, release. Right leg forward. Step the left foot across. Right hand outside of the knee. Left arm back. Gentle twist. Exhale, release. Other side, left hand on your elongated leg. Look over the right shoulder, counter twist. Exhale, release. Very nice. Both feet together for Baddha Konasana. Make sure you have like one underarm distance away from your heels to your belly. Pull the chest forward, shoulder blades back. Find an upright sitting position for 2 deep breaths. And then take the outside of the feet. Try to bring the elbows in front of the shins. Same idea here. You can round and pull the belly forward, cat-cow movements here. And you can stay in that position that feels good to you, maybe flat spine, maybe rounded, maybe you even want to walk the hands a little bit forward. Bring the outside of the knees towards the floor. Exhale, release. Bring the knees together, and I would go sideways on the mat, so you can bring the knees, both of the knees on the mat. You want to bring the heels in one line with the knees for frog. You can walk your hands forward, and we're going to do the same exercise here as well, letting the belly drop and pull up. I'll show you from the side as well. Really let the lower belly just fall towards the floor, and with your exhale, round and pull the belly to the spine. Couple times, cat-cow here. And then find that nice flat spine and shift forward and backward. So your hips are a little bit in front of your knees and back to loosen up the hips here. And then find the middle ground. Breathe. Allow the inner groin to release. And then bring the feet a little closer so the feet can touch. Maybe you can drop your forehead again to the floor, like an extreme wide-legged child's pose. And come back onto your hands, shift back up. And bring your legs back to the front. Maybe swing them a little bit from side to side. I want to work into supported fish pose. So if you have a block or a book or even a pillow that you can place in between the shoulder blades along your upper spine, so you can really open the front. I would also invite you to keep the legs in a Baddha Konasana position, so bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide, and you can just relax into this pose. If you don't have something like a block, you can always come onto your elbows and stay in the unsupported version. And I'm sure you can find something. Also a fascia roll, for example, could be used. The front of the chest can open itself by just letting gravity do the work. Stay for 5 more deep breaths here. Come out of this pose, bring the chin to the chest, support yourself with your elbows. Come back on your back. Take both of your knees in, make some big circles for your hips. And then cross the right leg over the left, arms wide like a T. Let the knees fall to the left side, twist. Look over the right shoulder, Let the weight of the legs guide you deeper into the twist. If the knees don't touch all the way to the floor, doesn't matter, keep the shoulders grounded. Inhale, find back to center, unwind the legs, left leg on top. Knees fall to the right side, look over your left shoulder. Unwind, come back to your center. Take the soles of the feet together, hold the feet from outside. Pull the toes as close as you can, so the knees are wide. Pull the nose to the feet. Yeah, exhale, release the upper body. You can keep the feet as they are for Shavasana today. You can stay in Supta Baddha Konasana. If you feel like that's too much for the inside of the legs, you're welcome to go into your regular Shavasana as well. Place your hands onto your heart. Hold that space in the center of your chest, Anahata Chakra. Invite softness, invite love. So many times when we wish that others hold us in a special way, we forget how it feels to hold ourselves. How can you give that gift of loving attention to yourself right now? Let the body soften from the toes through the legs and hips, the breath come natural. Your whole spine can relax. The shoulders, along with your arms and hands, can relax fully. Allow the face to soften completely. Allow the mind to be free from any thought. If I can teach you anything, it is to listen to yourself and to your own body. and to receive your inner wisdom by listening to your heart. Identify any stressful thoughts and question them. Become still and pause so you can hear the answers of your heart. Slowly reawaken your body from here. If you still have the legs in Baddha Konasana position, maybe take your hands to the outside of the knees to bring the legs together. Give yourself a nice morning stretch, arms over your head, feet into the opposite direction. With your exhale, roll onto your favorite side, use your arms as a pillow. Take a moment to be grateful for your practice, for your body, for the connection with your heart that connects to everything that surrounds you with. And then roll back up into a comfortable seated position. Observe how you feel at the end of your practice. Guide your hands together in front of your chest. Come back to your intention. Come back to unconditional love in your heart. Let's end practice by chanting one Om together. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Guide your hands in front of your third eye center, your seat of intuition, to your lips for always speaking your truth, and back to your heart. May you always be guided by your heart. Namaste.